Now, most people hear AI agency and immediately picture someone sitting at a computer all day, managing bots, answering client emails, fixing things when they break. And for a lot of AI agency owners out there, that's exactly what their life looks like. What I'm going to walk you through today is how the model we use actually works, what gets built, what runs on its own, and what your actual job looks like once that infrastructure is in place. Because the gap between how this is usually sold and how actual operators operate in the space and what it looks like in practice is something that no one can communicate clearly. Now, I want to be upfront about something before we get into the details. Running any business, right, takes work, and an AI agency is no different. The difference is where the work actually lives. In a traditional service business like a cleaning company, a marketing agency, even a staffing firm, the work is in delivery. Every client requires active human labor to fulfill. You scale by adding people, and the margins scale when you do. Now, the AI agency model we build is structured a little bit differently. The delivery is automated. The AI handles inbound calls, outbound follow-up, appointment booking, lead qualification, and client reporting without a human in the loop. I'll show you exactly what that looks like here in a second. Now, your work as the owner lives in the relationships and the oversight, and that is a fundamentally different type of job. Now, when we build an agency for someone inside of our program, we run it through 3 different phases. We call them build, fill, and scale. And understanding what happens in each one is the clearest way to explain how this whole thing works. Now, the build phase is the first 7 days. This is where we create the legal entity, and if you need one, we set up your CRM, build your agency website, and deploy the AI infrastructure. The AI that we build handles inbound calls from leads, sends automated follow-up sequences via voice and SMS, books appointments directly into a calendar, and qualifies prospects before a human ever gets involved. We also give you the sales framework, the outreach scripts, and the training that you need to understand what you're selling. Everything that gets built belongs to you on day one. Now, the field phase starts the moment the build is actually done. This is where we launch outreach campaigns. So cold email, paid advertising, LinkedIn outreach, whatever mix makes sense for the niche that we've identified. We're having conversations with business owners on your behalf, getting them on calls, presenting the offer, and then closing them. The clients sign agreements with your company, not ours. The payments go directly into your business bank account, okay? Now, the scale phase is where the math starts to compound. Once we've gotten you to $10,000 a month in contracted revenue, which we're committed to doing within 120 days, mind you, we move into the growth partnership. You keep 80% of everything the agency generates. We take 20 and continue running the client acquisition, the AI maintenance, and the relationship management on the back end. The agency keeps growing without you having to personally manage every moving part. So Marissa is one of the AI agents we deploy inside these agencies. She answers calls, handles questions about the business's services, qualifies the caller, and tries to book them onto the calendar. She runs 24 hours a day without breaks, without sick days, and without making the lead feel like they're being processed by a robot, right? Now, what the business owner used to pay a receptionist or an answering service to do, Marissa does that automatically and does it at scale, right? So if a roofing company is running Google ads and getting 30 calls a week, Marissa handles every one of those. If a dental practice calls after hours, Marissa answers. The missed call that used to mean a lost patient now becomes a booked appointment. And that's just the inbound side. On the outbound side, when the lead fills out a form or responds to an ad, our system calls them back within 10 seconds of that response, sends a booking link by email at the same time, and fires a follow-up SMS simultaneously. No human has to be available. Now, the moment of interest is captured the moment that it exists, not 16 hours later when someone else has flooded their inbox. This is what local business owners are paying monthly retainers for. They're not paying for a chatbot. They're paying to stop losing revenue, to miss calls, and slow follow-up. And the math on that is pretty straightforward to show them. So here's what I tell everyone who comes into the program, and it's the same thing that I told Dendrick, who ran a franchise cleaning business for 15 years before we built his agency. Now, your job as the CEO of this agency has 3 parts to it. The first part is understanding what you have well enough to talk about it confidently. We give you the training for this inside the intensive. You're not going to sound like you're reading from a script because you've watched how the system was built from the inside. Now, the second thing is maintaining the client relationship, not managing the AI, not running the campaigns, not doing the technical work, just staying in contact with the business owners who are paying you. A check-in call, a holiday message, a quick note when their results look strong. These are the things that turn a month-to-month client into a long-term one, and they take maybe a few hours a week. to respond to these. Now, the third thing is staying in communication with us. If something feels off with a client, if you want to understand what's happening in the campaign, if you're thinking about a business you want to bring in yourself, that's what the private Slack channel is there for. You have direct access to me during business hours throughout the entire program. Okay. Now that's the job. This is not technical. It's not time consuming, and it's not something that competes with whatever else you have going on in your life. Now, you, as one of our partners, you don't have to speak to business owners. You're not talking to them on calls or anything to that effect, but we provide you the training so that if you do want to go out there and you do want to have conversations with people, you're able to do so confidently and effectively. Now, if you want to see this built from the ground up, so your LLC, your brand, your CRM, your AI infrastructure in 7 days, the link in the description walks you through how to book a call with me directly. We go through your situation, make sure the timing and the capital makes sense, and if it's a fit, we get the onboarding scheduled. Now, at the end of the 7 days, you decide what happens next. You can scale with us, or you can take the infrastructure and run with it yourself. Either way, everything that we built is yours. The link is in the description. Book a call. I look forward to speaking with you.